Tonight, battle ready. After thousands of airstrikes failed to stop militant attacks, Israel masses troops at the border and steps up raids. Middle East mission. Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice is headed to the region. What can the U.S. do that will make any difference? Baby bonus, the new rewards of motherhood for one group of women. They're getting paid to have more children. And our person of the week, the American who could well win the Tour de France. He has a hip so bad he walks with a limp. But oh boy, can he ride.
From ABC News headquarters, this is World News with Charles Gibson.
Good evening. There are signs tonight that the war in the Middle East could get wider. Israel has placed additional troops along the Lebanese border. Civilians in South Lebanon have been warned to leave their homes and go north. And Israel has called up thousands more reservists. 10 days of intense bombing in southern Lebanon has not stopped Hezbollah fighters from firing rockets into populated areas like Haifa. Indeed, Haifa was hit again today. Hezbollah seems to have Haifa zeroed in. The missiles hitting there have a range of about 30 miles. To reach Haifa, they have to be fired from near the border. Israel had hoped to force the launchers back out of range of Haifa solely with airstrikes. It obviously hasn't worked yet. And so we start tonight in Haifa with ABC's Dan Harris. Dan?
Charlie, good evening. The fact that Hezbollah continues to terrorize this city, injuring 3 more people today, may only strengthen the hand of those who argue that a ground invasion is necessary.
First came the sirens, then the explosions, then plumes of smoke rising from the heart of the city. En route to where one missile hit, we saw people running to a bomb shelter. On the scene, chaos. A building in a residential area had taken a direct hit. One woman was loaded onto an ambulance as rescue workers screamed, "Where's her leg? Bring her leg."
The missile that punctured the roof of this post office hit at around 1 o'clock local time. It could have been much, much worse. The post office had just closed a half hour before that.
The missiles just keep coming despite a sustained Israeli offensive, mostly from the air. Some say that simply won't be enough to eliminate all of Hezbollah's estimated 10 to 12,000 missiles.
It's almost impossible to hit enough of them to actually make life safer in the northern part of Israel.
So the Israeli military is now preparing to expand its ground operations. Today, the army called up thousands of reservists who reported for duty in northern Israel. One former Israeli general worries a full-scale ground invasion could backfire.
There is a very delicate question of how much force we should use in order to be effective on one hand and not to create a damage not only to the people but also to their hearts and minds in regard to the future.
Tonight, the Army Chief of Staff said Israel will conduct only, quote, limited ground operations. That, we're told, means larger and more aggressive incursions than Israeli forces have carried out in the past few days, moving across the border to root out Hezbollah weapons and trenches.
Those fights have proven deadly for the Israelis. They have lost 6 soldiers in recent days. What the Israelis may be trying to do now, some say, is making sure that the next time they face Hezbollah on the ground, they have more firepower. Charlie?
Dan Harris reporting tonight from Haifa. The Bush administration today opened a new chapter in its response to the conflict. Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice announced that she will be going to the Middle East on Sunday to look for a way to resolve the crisis. But even before she leaves, a disclaimer. Nothing will happen quickly. Here's our chief White House correspondent, Martha Raddatz.
Despite growing pressure for a ceasefire from several European allies and the UN Secretary General, the Secretary of State said today that is not on the table.
A ceasefire would be a false promise if it simply returns us to the status quo.
Rice will meet early next week with Israel's prime minister and the Palestinian leader. She will then head to Rome, where she will meet with leaders from Europe and Lebanon. On the table, the possibility of sending an international stabilization force to southern Lebanon to stop Hezbollah from attacking Israel. Rice said the U.S. would not contribute troops, but it would have to be a sizable force.
It has to be a force robust enough to do the job, to make sure that the conditions are in southern Lebanon are such that the reason for the violence has been dealt with.
As